Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I am your host, Brian Scott. I have a powerful episode created today. This is Reality Reprogramming. I am going to teach and activate quantum commands and power words that you can use to delete limiting beliefs from your subconscious mind. Imagine your consciousness is a quantum field of infinite possibility, pure creative potential waiting to collapse into physical experience. Now imagine an invisible barrier superimposed over this field, a complex network of energetic barriers, perceptual filters, and vibrational frequencies that determines which possibilities can materialize in your reality and which remain forever as unrealized potential. These are your beliefs, not merely thoughts you think, but the foundational operating system from which your entire experienced reality emerges. Your beliefs aren't describing your reality, they're creating it, moment by moment, through the precise vibrational frequencies they generate in your energy field. What we call limiting beliefs are not simply negative thoughts or pessimistic attitudes. They're literal neurobiological structures, physical networks of neurons connected through synaptic pathways that create specific electromagnetic signatures in your brain and body. When neuroscientists map the neural activity of someone who believes I'm not worthy of abundance, they actually observe distinct firing patterns that differ dramatically from someone who believes I'm a natural prosperity magnet. These aren't metaphorical differences, but measurable electromagnetic variations that interact directly with the quantum field from which physical reality materializes. Quantum erasing represents a revolutionary approach to consciousness reprogramming, not merely covering over limiting beliefs with positive statements or affirmations, but actually dissolving the energetic imprints at their subconscious origin point. This process operates on principles similar to quantum mechanics' delayed choice experiments, where observations in the present can literally alter what has already occurred in the past. When we engage in quantum erasing, we're not simply changing our current thoughts, but ourselves. We're reaching into the subconscious timeline where these beliefs were originally encoded and literally erasing their energetic signatures from our field. The neuroscience underlying this process reveals something remarkable. Beliefs aren't static entities, but dynamic, self-sustaining energy patterns that require constant reinforcement to maintain their structure. Every belief exists as a cell assembly, a group of neurons that fire together in specific patterns, creating what researcher Donald Hebb famously described with neurons that fire together, wire together. These neural networks become increasingly efficient and automatic through repetition, eventually operating below the threshold of conscious awareness. They become, in essence, the invisible architecture that filters all incoming information and outgoing creation, allowing only experiences that match their specific frequency to enter their reality. When I encounter someone that is struggling to manifest or create the reality that they desire, the number one reason is always their belief system. And so I wanted to activate command phrases and words that you can utilize in specific sequences and in specific ways to dissolve these beliefs. And by listening to this activation, you will have tools and weapons that you can use to eliminate these belief systems that can become so unruly that you're not even aware of them. The vibrational nature of beliefs explains the often frustrating phenomenon where someone can consciously desire abundance while continuously experiencing lack. Their intellectual understanding and surface desires exist at one frequency, while their deeper beliefs about unworthiness or impossibility generate a completely different frequency, and it's this deeper frequency that determines what manifests. The quantum field responds not to what you intellectually think or verbally affirm, but to the actual electromagnetic signature generated by your entire neural and energetic system. If the dominant frequency emitted by your belief system resonates with scarcity, the quantum field faithfully delivers matching experiences regardless of how many prosperity affirmations that you recite. If you've listened to my previous episodes, quantum command phrases and quantum command words, as well as my episode where I activated the phrase, "I'm so happy and grateful now," we're using the same process, and through this activation, by listening to this episode, I'm going to activate words that you can use after you listen to this that will be effective enough to dissolve those limiting beliefs that you carry with you. This reveals why traditional approaches to belief change, positive affirmation, vision boards, even some forms of therapy often create temporary shifts that eventually revert to the original pattern. These approaches attempt to overlay new programming onto existing neural networks without actually dissolving the original imprint. It's like painting a bright color over a dark wallpaper. Eventually, the underlying pattern begins to bleed through. True transformation requires a fundamentally different approach, systematically identifying specific vibrational signatures of limiting beliefs, applying precise quantum commands that disrupt and dissolve these patterns at their origin point, and then establishing new neural networks that generate frequencies aligned with your desired reality. The quantum erasing process we're about to undertake differs fundamentally from the conventional belief change work. We're not going to fight against negative beliefs or try to convince ourselves of some new perspective. Instead, we're learning to identify the specific vibrational signatures of limiting beliefs, apply precisely calibrated quantum commands that create pattern interrupts in the neural networks, and systematically erase the energetic imprints from our subconscious. This isn't metaphorical erasing, but actual energetic dissolution. Similar to how certain frequencies can break down crystallized structures, or how specific sound waves can cancel out others through destructive interference. What you'll experience during this process might feel unusual compared to other developmental work. You might notice sudden emotional releases, spontaneous insights about the origins of certain beliefs, unusual body sensations as energetic patterns discharge, or moments of disorientation as your perceptual filters recalibrate. These experiences aren't merely psychological, but reflect actual neurobiological and energetic restructuring occurring in real time as quantum erasure commands disrupt and dissolve the limiting beliefs that have been shaping your reality. Now, you may have heard these phrases or words before, but after listening to this, we will activate these words and phrases so that you can use them to dissolve those underlying beliefs. By the time we complete this, you'll possess specific linguistic technologies for identifying, targeting, and dissolving a number of categories for limiting beliefs. Beliefs about abundance or worthiness, identity, possibility. These quantum eraser commands will become permanent tools in your consciousness toolkit, precision instruments for maintaining energetic clarity and vibrational coherence as you create your desired reality. You're not just learning techniques for positive thinking, you're installing actual mechanisms for quantum level consciousness programming that permanently alters the electromagnetic signature you broadcast to the universe. To understand how to erase the limiting belief at the quantum level, you must first comprehend their extraordinary architecture, how these invisible structures form, stabilize, and ultimately govern your entire experienced reality. Beliefs aren't abstract concepts, but actual neurobiological and energetic constructs with specific formation mechanics. Beliefs form at the subconscious level through a process called emotional imprinting. Moments of heightened emotional intensity create instantaneous programming in your nervous system and energy field. Your brain is designed to form immediate, lasting associations during emotionally charged experiences as a survival mechanism. When a child experiences rejection while expressing creativity, the limbic system, your emotional processing center, tags the experience with danger or pain signals, creating an instantaneous association between self-expression and emotional threat. This creates the amygdala hijack pathway, a neural circuit that bypasses rational thought and triggers immediate psychological and energetic responses when similar circumstances arise. These emotionally imprinted associations become foundations of your beliefs, operating completely outside conscious awareness, while determining which experiences your system identifies as safe to manifest. At the quantum level, these beliefs exist as stable, oscillating patterns in your energy field, coherent electromagnetic signatures that maintain their form through self-reinforcing resonance. These are standing wave patterns, vibrations that maintain consistent form over time, like a guitar string vibrating at a specific frequency. Each belief generates a distinct electromagnetic signature that interacts directly with the quantum field from which physical reality materializes. Your belief that money is hard to come by isn't merely a thought, but an actual electromagnetic broadcast that the quantum field responds to with perfect fidelity, arranging particles and possibilities to match your energetic transmission. The astonishing implication is that your beliefs aren't simply influencing your reality, they're creating the precise electromagnetic template from which your physical experience is constructed. These belief patterns operate as exquisitely calibrated reality filters that only allow experiences matching their specific frequency to enter your awareness. Your reticular activating system, the neural network that determines which of the millions of available inputs reaches your conscious mind, is literally programmed by your beliefs to filter reality according to their specifications. If you hold a belief that people can't be trusted, your perceptual system will highlight every instance of untrustworthiness while simultaneously filtering out evidence of trustworthiness. Not because you're consciously looking for confirmation, but because your belief system has literally reconfigured your perceptual apparatus to only register reality that matches its frequency. You aren't seeing reality as it is, but as your beliefs have programmed your nervous system to construct it. What makes this architecture so challenging to redesign is the self-reinforcing nature of belief systems. Each belief operates within a positive feedback loop, a self-perpetuating cycle where the belief creates perceptions that generate emotions that strengthen the original belief. Your belief that success requires struggle creates a perceptual filter that highlights every difficulty while minimizing instances of ease, which generates feelings of effort and strain, which your system interprets as confirmation that success indeed requires struggle, which further strengthens the original belief. This isn't confirmation bias in the conventional sense, but an actual neurobiological loop with specific electromagnetic properties that become increasingly stable and resistant to change over time. Each reinforcement cycle strengthens the neural connections and amplifies the energetic broadcast, creating responses to immediate and unconscious. They seem like objective reality rather than programmed perception. Now you can find this everywhere, from abundance beliefs governing your relationship with resources, prosperity and what you perceive as available or lacking in your experience, worthiness beliefs determining what you allow yourself to receive, enjoy, and claim as your natural birthright, possibility beliefs that establish the boundaries of what you perceive as attainable, defining the horizon of your potential manifestations. At the most fundamental level, identity beliefs defining who you perceive yourself to be, your capabilities, and your role in the universe. This complex belief architecture explains why awareness alone isn't sufficient to create lasting transformation. Conventional wisdom suggests that simply recognizing limiting beliefs should dispel their influence, but this fundamentally misunderstands their neurobiological and energetic nature. A belief operating at the subconscious level exists as actual physical neural networks with specific electrochemical properties and as stable electromagnetic patterns in your energy field. Simply becoming intellectually aware of these patterns doesn't disrupt their coherence or deactivate their influence any more than becoming aware of a radio broadcast changing the transmission. The conscious mind operates at a completely different frequency than the subconscious belief system governing your reality creation process. This is why you can intellectually recognize a limiting belief while simultaneously experiencing its effects in your physical reality. The two systems are operating on different planes of consciousness with minimal interference between them. True transformation requires specific technologies that can access the actual frequency at which these beliefs operate, create pattern interrupts in their self-sustaining architecture, and literally erase their energetic signatures from your field. The quantum erasing process we're undertaking isn't about positive thinking or cognitive restructuring, but actual energetic dissolution of limiting beliefs at their origin point in your subconscious field. We're not trying to convince you of new perspectives, but erasing the electromagnetic templates from which your current reality is being constructed, allowing new patterns aligned with your conscious intentions to establish coherence and stability in your energy field. Quantum erasing represents a paradigm shift in consciousness technology, a fundamental departure from conventional belief change methodologies. This process unfolds through a precisely calibrated three-phase protocol that mirrors how quantum systems reorganize at the subatomic level. The first phase, identification, involves bringing the specific vibrational signature of a limiting belief into conscious awareness. Not just intellectually recognizing its existence, but actually feeling its electromagnetic pattern in your system. We'll use specialized scanning techniques to locate where they are and how these beliefs exist as energetic patterns in your field. The second phase, neutralization, employs specific quantum command words that create pattern interrupts in the neural networks sustaining these beliefs. Words like dissolve, erase, and neutralize aren't just being used metaphorically, but as actual vibrational technologies that, when spoken with proper resonance, anchoring, and activation, create destructive interference patterns that cancel out the stable oscillations, maintaining the belief structure. This is similar to how precisely calibrated sine waves can shatter crystal glasses by matching their resonant frequency. The quantum command words we're activating create exact opposite frequencies to the limiting beliefs, causing their coherent patterns to decohere and dissolve from your energy field. The final phase, replacement, establishes new neural networks and energetic patterns in the space cleared by the erasure process. Nature abhors a vacuum, and quantum systems rapidly reorganize when existing patterns collapse. By immediately installing specific frequency patterns aligned with your conscious intentions, we prevent the original limiting beliefs from reestablishing their coherence in your field. This isn't adding new beliefs atop old ones, but establishing fresh neural and energetic architecture in the space where limiting beliefs previously existed. For this quantum erasing process to access the actual frequency layers where beliefs operate, you must enter specific brainwave states that bypass the analytical mind and access subconscious programming directly. While in normal beta brainwave states, your conscious mind acts as a gatekeeper, processing information intellectually, but unable to access or alter the deeper programming. I am using certain words that you may not recognize, sequences of patterns, frequencies in my voice, modulations, all to create brainwave states to create this programming for you. As we guide you into alpha and theta states, the borderlands between conscious and subconscious awareness, the energetic barriers between the levels of consciousness become permeable, allowing your quantum erasure commands to directly access and dissolve the limiting belief patterns stored in your subconscious field. How will you recognize when a belief has been successfully erased? Your system does provide unmistakable feedback or somatic markers, specific body sensations that signal energetic shifts in your field. Everyone is different, but be aware of what sensations you feel in your body. Many people report sudden perceptual shifts where aspects of reality previously filtered out by limiting beliefs suddenly become visible. Opportunities, resources, or possibilities that were always there but screened from awareness by the belief's frequency patterns. We are creating permanent shifts. This permanence results from the fundamental difference in approach. We're not adding competing signals that eventually weaken through entropy, but actually erasing the original programming at its source. When a limiting belief pattern is truly erased at the quantum level, it doesn't leave a residual imprint that can later reactivate. This is not merely psychological reprogramming, but actual energetic restructuring that alters the electromagnetic broadcast your system transmits to the quantum field. The invisible architecture that most powerfully constrains your experience of prosperity exists as electromagnetic patterns in your energy field, coherent oscillations that broadcast scarcity frequencies directly into the quantum field. These abundance limitations weren't chosen consciously, but installed through emotional imprinting during formative experiences where you witnessed struggle around money, absorbed cultural programming about the difficulty of wealth, or experienced lack or loss. These experiences create distinct neural networks and corresponding energy patterns that continuously broadcast statements like, money requires struggle and sacrifice, there's never enough, wealth only comes through hard work, financial abundance is for others but not for me. These aren't merely thoughts, but actual vibrational transmissions that the quantum field faithfully manifests as your financial reality. Your conscious desires for prosperity remain perpetually unfulfilled, not because you lack the right strategy or opportunity, but because the electromagnetic signature generated by these subconscious beliefs creates a reality field that literally repels abundance while attracting experiences of limitation and scarcity. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you intellectually want or verbally affirm, but to the actual energetic broadcast your belief system continuously transmits. We now activate our first quantum eraser command, dissolve. This power word contains within its vibrational signature the actual mechanism of pattern disruption, the ability to break coherent structures into their component elements. When directed with conscious intention at specific belief patterns, dissolve the word. When you use it, dissolve, creating a systematic breakdown of stable oscillating patterns into incoherent particles that can no longer maintain their form. Feel the word dissolve as it resonates through your system. The smooth dis creates an initial separation, while solve completes the dissolution process, creating a sensation of solid structures returning to fluid potential. As we activate dissolve, direct it specifically toward the prosperity limitations in your field. Feel the word creating ripples of disruption through the neural networks and energy patterns that have been limiting your financial abundance. Dissolve all beliefs about money requiring struggle. Dissolve all programming that establishes upper limits on your prosperity. Dissolve all programming that associates wealth with negative consequences. Dissolve all imprints that separate you from the natural flow of abundance. With each repetition, feel these limiting patterns losing coherence, their electromagnetic signatures weakening as their component elements begin to separate and disperse from your field. Now we activate our second quantum eraser command, neutralize. This word carries the vibrational signature of complete energetic clearing, the neutralization of charged particles that have been creating distortion fields in your system. When directed with intention, neutralize creates the release of charged energy back to a neutral state of pure potential. Feel the word neutralize as it pulses through your field. The balance neutralize creates a three-phase neutralization process that systematically returns charged patterns to zero-point energy. And as I activate neutralize, direct it specifically toward any remaining prosperity limitation in your field. Feel the word creating immediate energetic clearing through your entire system. Neutralize all emotional charges around money and success. Neutralize all fear patterns that create prosperity resistance. Neutralize all unworthiness programming that blocks financial flow. Neutralize all energetic distortions that separate you from your natural state of abundance. With each repetition, feel these patterns releasing their emotional charge, returning to neutral ground state energy that no longer generates limitation frequencies in your field. Let's combine these in an exercise that systematically clears the most common abundance limitations from your field. Place one hand over your solar plexus, your personal power center and energetic region most associated with prosperity consciousness. Take 3 deep breaths. Feel yourself becoming fully present in this transformational moment. Now speak aloud with me while directing your awareness to your solar plexus. Say, I now dissolve and completely neutralize all limiting beliefs about prosperity and abundance in my energy field. Feel the immediate pattern disrupt this creates throughout your system. Continue with specific limitations. I now dissolve and completely neutralize the belief that money requires struggle or sacrifice. Feel the liberation this creates in your energy field. I now dissolve and completely neutralize the belief that I must work hard to deserve financial abundance. Notice the lightening sensation as this limitation dissolves. I now dissolve and completely neutralize the belief that wealth is for others but not for me. Feel the boundaries and separation dissolving from your field. As these limiting patterns dissolve and neutralize, you immediately install new prosperity programming using specific power words in optimal combinations, placing both hands on your solar plexus in receiving position, and repeat with full intention. I now command and activate unlimited prosperity consciousness throughout my entire being. Feel the immediate shift in your energy signature. I now align with and magnetize abundant financial flow from infinite sources. Notice the attractive field this creates around you. I now embody and radiate the exact frequency that manifests extraordinary wealth with ease. Feel this new programming establishing coherent patterns throughout your system. The signs that these abundance blocks have been carefully and successfully cleared will appear in subtle and dramatic ways. You may notice a physical sensation or expansion or lightness, spontaneous deeper breathing or a pleasant tingling. Within days, you'll notice cognitive and perceptual shifts, suddenly seeing financial opportunities that were always present but filtered from your awareness by the previous limitation patterns. You will experience emotional shifts around money, less anxiety, greater ease, and a natural sense of deserving. Most dramatically, you'll begin noticing tangible reality shifts, unexpected income appearing, people offering financial opportunities, resources becoming available precisely when needed, and a general sense of being in the flow of abundance rather than struggling against scarcity. These manifestations aren't magic, but the natural result of broadcasting a new electromagnetic signature to the field, one aligned with prosperity and abundance rather than limitation and scarcity. The field isn't changing its response, it's simply responding to your new broadcast with the same perfect fidelity it always has, now manifesting prosperity experiences that match your newly activated abundance frequency. Perhaps the most profound limitation in the human experience exists not in external circumstances, but the invisible architecture of worthiness, the subconscious belief patterns that determine what you allow yourself to receive, experience, and become. These worthiness limitations operate as electromagnetic gatekeepers in your energy field, creating permission boundaries that define the upper limits of abundance, love, success, and joy you can experience regardless of your conscious desires or intentions. These worthiness beliefs crystallize in your field during moments of childhood criticism, rejection, comparison, or conditional love. Experiences where you are developing consciousness absorbed the devastating message that your intrinsic value is somehow insufficient, flawed, or contingent upon external validation. These emotional imprints create specific networks and corresponding patterns that continuously broadcast frequencies like, "I'm not good enough," "I must earn love and acceptance," "I don't deserve extraordinary success," or "who am I to want more than what I already have?" These aren't intellectual concepts, but electromagnetic signatures that create perceptual filters, allowing experiences that match your self-assessed worth while systematically rejecting those that exceed it. We now activate our first worthiness quantum eraser, erase. This power word contains within its vibrational pattern the precise mechanism for removing imprinted programming from your energetic system. Unlike dissolve, which breaks patterns into component elements, erase creates the complete elimination of encoded information from a system. Feel the word erase as it resonates through your field. The initial E creates an opening in the energetic pattern, while raise completes a sweeping clearing action that removes all traces of the original imprint. As we activate erase, direct it specifically toward the worthiness limitations in your system. Feel the word creating immediate clearing of long-standing programming in your neural networks and energy field. Erase all beliefs about being fundamentally flawed or insufficient. Erase all patterns that make your value contingent upon external achievement or validation. Erase all programming that establishes upper limits on what you deserve to experience. Erase all imprints separating you from your natural state of intrinsic value and worthiness. With each repetition, feel these limiting patterns being completely removed from your system, leaving no trace or residue that could later reactivate. We now activate our second worthiness quantum eraser, recalibrate. This word carries vibrational signature of complete system reset. The return to original factory settings before limitation programming was installed. When directed with intention, recalibrate creates the return to optimal functioning after distortion patterns have been removed. Feel the word recalibrate as it pulses through your system. The rhythmic recalibrate creates multi-phase reset process that systematically restores your worthiness frequencies to their original states. As we activate recalibrate, direct it specifically toward your entire worthiness system. Feel the word creating immediate restoration of your natural value recognition throughout your neural and energetic architecture. Recalibrate all self-assessment patterns to recognize your inherent value. Recalibrate all energetic boundaries that have been limiting what you allow yourself to receive. Recalibrate your entire system to naturally attract experiences that reflect your true worth. With each repetition, feel these systems returning to their original design specifications, the unconditional worthiness that is your birthright before programming was installed. Now place one hand over the heart center, this region most associated with self-worth and value. Take 3 deep breaths. Feel yourself becoming fully present in this moment. Now speak aloud with me, directing your awareness to your heart. Say, I now erase and completely recalibrate all limiting beliefs about my worthiness and value in my energy field. Feel the immediate pattern reset that this creates throughout your system. Continue with specific limitations. I now erase and completely recalibrate the belief that I must earn love and acceptance. Feel the liberation this creates in your field. I now erase and completely recalibrate the belief that I don't deserve extraordinary success and abundance. Notice the expansion sensation as this limitation clears. I now erase and completely recalibrate the belief that my value is determined by external achievement or validation. Feel the profound relief as this false measurement system dissolves from your field. As these limiting patterns erase and recalibrate, you immediately install new worthiness programming using specific power words and optimal combinations. Placing both hands on your heart in a receiving position, and repeat with full intention, I now command and embody unconditional self-worth throughout my entire being. Feel the immediate shift in your energetic signature. Say this with me. I now activate my innate value that exists independent of all external validation. Notice the self-contained power this creates within you. Again, say this with me. I now radiate and magnetize experiences that perfectly reflect my true worth and deservingness. Feel this new programming establishing coherent patterns throughout your system. Maintaining this newly activated frequency requires specific attention to environmental triggers that previously activated unworthiness patterns. Your external environment, particularly certain relationships, situations, or media, may still contain frequencies that resonate with your old unworthiness programming. When exposed to these triggers, immediately speak the quantum phase. As a sovereign being, I activate my worthiness field and nullify all external invalidation frequencies. This creates an instantaneous energy shield that prevents these frequencies from reactivating old patterns. Additionally, establish quantum maintenance practice where you place one hand on your heart each morning and speak the phrase, I command and amplify my unconditional worthiness frequency throughout this day. This creates an override of any weaker frequency that you might encounter. With consistent reinforcement, this new worthiness frequency becomes your increasingly stable and self-sustaining state, creating a permanent shift in what you naturally attract and allow into your reality. By systematically erasing the limitation patterns, you're not becoming worthy. You're removing the distortion patterns that prevented your natural worthiness from broadcasting clearly into the field. Perhaps the most profound limitation in human consciousness isn't what we believe about our current circumstances, but the invisible boundaries we've constructed around what's possible for our future. These possibility limitations exist as actual energetic architecture in your field, perceptual frameworks that determine which potential futures appear available to your consciousness and which remain perpetually beyond your horizon of possibility. These aren't objective assessments, but precisely calibrated perceptual filters installed through past experiences of disappointment, cultural programming about realistic expectations, or authoritative voices that constrain your sense of what's attainable for someone like you. These possibility beliefs in your field crystallize as specific neural networks with corresponding signatures that broadcast limitations like, "That's impossible for someone like me. I don't have what it takes. Success requires special advantages I don't possess. My dreams are unrealistic." Those aren't intellectual assessments, but actual patterns that create energetic walls beyond your awareness that cannot easily extend. The field faithfully manifests realities matching these limitations, not because the greater possibilities don't exist, but because your consciousness cannot perceive beyond the boundaries established by these patterns. We now activate our first possibility quantum eraser, deconstruct. This power word contains within its pattern the precise mechanism for dismantling complex belief frameworks. Unlike dissolve, which breaks patterns into components, or erase, which removes imprints, deconstruct creates the sequential removing of supporting elements that cause an entire framework to collapse. Feel the word deconstruct as it resonates through your field. The multisyllabic deconstruct creates a progressive dismantling sequence that systematically removes each supporting element of your limitation architecture. As we activate deconstruct, direct it specifically toward possibility limitations in your system. Feel the word creating immediate dismantling of restrictive frameworks in your consciousness. Deconstruct all artificial boundaries about what's possible for your future. Deconstruct all fixed assessments about your capabilities and potential. Deconstruct all mental frameworks that define what's realistic for your life. Deconstruct all perceptual filters that have been screening expanded possibilities from your awareness. With each repetition, feel these limitations losing integrity, their supporting elements systematically removed until the entire framework collapses, revealing infinite possibility beyond the artificial boundaries. Now we activate our second quantum eraser, expand. This power word carries the signature of boundary dissolution, the extension of consciousness beyond previously known limitations into vast new territories of potential. When directed with intention, expand creates the ability to perceive possibilities previously beyond your awareness threshold. Feel the word expand as it pulses through your system. The opening X initiates outward movement, while pand creates continuing extension in all directions simultaneously. And as we activate expand, direct it specifically toward your entire possibility field. Feel the word creating immediate extension of your perceptual boundaries in all directions. Expand your awareness beyond all artificial limitations. Expand your sense of what's attainable for your life and work. Expand your perception to include possibilities previously filtered from your awareness. Expand your consciousness beyond cultural and personal programming about what's realistic. With each repetition, feel your field extending further, transcending previous boundaries, and accessing vast new territories of potential. Let's combine these erasers in an exercise. Place your hands at your temples. the gateways to your higher perception centers. Take 3 deep breaths. Changing your brainwave state. The energetic gateways. Feel yourself becoming fully present. Now speak aloud with me while directing your awareness to expanding outward in all directions. Say, I now deconstruct and completely expand all limiting beliefs about what's possible for my life and future. Feel the immediate boundary dissolution this creates. Continue with specific limitations. I now deconstruct and completely expand all artificial boundaries around my capabilities and potential. Feel the liberation this creates in your perception. Say it with me. I now deconstruct and completely expand all fixed assessments about what's realistic or attainable for me. Notice the sudden availability of possibilities previously filtered from your awareness. Say it with me. I now deconstruct and completely expand all perceptual frameworks that have been constraining my vision of what's possible. Feel the exhilaration as these perceptual walls dissolve, revealing infinite new possibilities in all directions. As these limiting patterns deconstruct and expand, we install new possibility programming immediately using specific power words. Raise your hands above your head in a gesture of unlimited potential and repeat with full intention, I now command and activate unlimited possibility awareness through my entire consciousness. Feel the immediate shift in your perceptual field. Say it with me. I now collapse and manifest realities previously beyond my perception as immediate opportunities in my experience. Notice the shifting sensation this creates. Say it with me. As a sovereign being, I now illuminate infinite potential that transcends all previous assessments of what's possible for my future. Feel this new programming establishing coherent patterns throughout your perceptual system. The extraordinary aspect of possibility belief clearing is how it immediately alters your perceived reality. Unlike other transformations that may unfold over time, expanded possibility awareness creates instant perceptual shifts where opportunities, connections, and pathways that were always present but filtered from your awareness suddenly become visible. You'll experience the ability to perceive connections and possibilities previously invisible to your conscious mind. Conversations will reveal opportunities where before you heard none. Situations that seemed dead ends suddenly display multiple promising pathways. This isn't creating new external realities, but removing the perceptual filters that were preventing you from seeing the full spectrum of possibilities already present in your environment. The field hasn't changed. Your ability to perceive what it contains has expanded. The possibility expansion represents the most profound transformation in your reality creation capacity because it addresses the primary limitation in manifestation. Not your techniques or commitment, but the range of futures your consciousness can actually envision. By systematically deconstructing artificial boundaries and expanding your perceptual field, you're becoming more capable of removing the distortion patterns that were preventing your natural, unlimited consciousness from perceiving the infinite possibilities that have always existed within the field. At the core of your reality creation lies the most fundamental blueprint of all, your identity. This isn't merely self-perceptions, but actual templates that define the central organizing principle around which all your experiences arrange themselves. Your beliefs about prosperity, worthiness, and possibility all stem from this primary matrix. the electromagnetic signature that broadcasts who you believe yourself to be in the quantum field. This identity construct exists as a stable pattern in your field. These identity beliefs crystallize through accumulated impact of defining moments, authority figure assessments, and cultural programming that shaped your most basic sense of self. Messages like, "You're not the kind of person who," or "people like us don't," become encoded not just as opinions, but as actual neural architecture. I am someone who struggles. I am not naturally gifted or talented. I am ordinary rather than extraordinary. Or I am someone who supports others rather than shines myself. These aren't conscious choices, but subconscious identity frequencies that create the fundamental vibration around which all other aspects of your reality organize themselves. We now activate our first identity quantum eraser, redefine. This power word contains within its vibrational structure the precise mechanism for restructuring foundational identity constructs in your energy field. Unlike previous erasure words, redefine creates the fundamental reconfiguration of your core identity template. Feel the word redefine as it resonates through your entire being. The transformative redefine creates a three-phase restructuring process that systematically revises your core identity at the quantum level. As we activate redefine, direct it specifically toward the identity limitations in your field. Feel the word creating immediate restructuring of your most fundamental self-definitions. Redefine all constrained assessments of who you are and what you're capable of. Redefine all fixed determinations about your talents, abilities, and potential. Redefine all limiting stories about your fundamental nature and purpose. Redefine all inherited beliefs about what kind of person you are or aren't. With each repetition, feel your core identity undergoing profound revision, its limiting elements systematically restructured to allow extraordinary new possibilities to emerge from your essential being. Now we activate our second quantum eraser for identity, and that's embody. This power word carries the signature of complete integration, the full expression of expanded identity through your entire multidimensional system. When directed with intention, embody creates the coherent expression of higher identity patterns through all levels of your being, from quantum field to physical form. Feel the word embody as it pulses through your system. The grounding embody creates a manifestation pathway that brings abstract potential into concrete expression through your entire being. As we activate embody, direct it specifically toward your expanded identity possibilities. Feel the word creating immediate integration of new self-definitions throughout your whole multidimensional system. Embody the extraordinary capabilities previously hidden within your potential. Embody the boundless creator consciousness that is your true nature. Embody the unique genius and contribution that only your specific consciousness can express. Embody the unlimited being you've always been beneath artificial constraints. Feel these expanded identity patterns becoming fully integrated through your system. Let's combine these quantum erasers. Place your hands on your heart and move them outward to encompass your entire body in a gesture of complete embodiment. Take 3 deep breaths. Move your brain into that perfect state. Feel yourself becoming fully present. Now speak aloud with me while maintaining this embodiment gesture. I now redefine and completely embody my true identity beyond all limitation and constraint. Feel the immediate identity recalibration this creates throughout your multidimensional system. Continue with this specific limitation. I now redefine and completely embody myself beyond all stories of ordinariness and insufficiency. For the extraordinary expression this activates within you. I now redefine and completely embody myself beyond all inherited assessments of my capabilities and potential. Notice how your sense of self expands beyond previous boundaries. I now redefine and completely embody myself as the unlimited consciousness I've always been beneath artificial constraints. As these restrictive identity patterns redefine and embody, we immediately install new identity programming using specific power words. Say this with me. I am a sovereign being and now transcend all limited definitions of self as I command my true nature to fully express. Feel the immediate shift in your core signature. Say this with me. I now illuminate and activate the extraordinary consciousness that is my authentic identity beyond all distortion. Notice the coherent alignment this creates. Say this with me. I now embody and radiate my unique genius and contribution as I collapse all timelines into my highest expression. This establishes your core identity frequency throughout your entire field. The transformation of identity beliefs creates the most profound reality shifts because it alters the gravitational center around which other experiences orbit. When your core vibrational signature changes, the entire universe must reorganize itself to reflect this new frequency. You'll notice this reorganization begin immediately in how others respond to you. They'll interact with you according to your new identity frequency rather than previous patterns. More profoundly, you'll experience the rapidly increasing alignment between your external circumstances and your new identity vibration. Opportunities that match your expanded identity will appear with remarkable synchronicity. This identity level transformation addresses the causal point of all reality creation, not what you do or even what you believe, but who you are being at the vibrational level. By systematically redefining and embodying expanded identity frequencies, you're not becoming something new, but removing the distortion patterns that were preventing your authentic, unlimited nature from broadcasting clearly into the field. Now, I advise each morning upon awakening, when your brain naturally exists in theta brainwave states, most receptive to quantum reprogramming, place a hand on your heart and ask, what limiting beliefs are presenting for clearing today? The first thoughts, sensations, or images that appear aren't random but precise quantum feedback, identifying specific patterns to erase. When these patterns reveal themselves, immediately apply the quantum erasing sequence we've activated. I now dissolve and erase this limitation as I redefine and expand beyond this constrained perspective. This creates immediate pattern disruption in the identified belief structure. Follow with a specific activation. I now command and embody the unlimited potential beyond this dissolved limitation. This sequence, applied consistently each morning, creates the systematic strengthening of expanded consciousness patterns through your iterative environment. The optimal states for belief erasure work extend beyond morning theta waves to include the moments between defined states where quantum possibility remains maximally fluid, the threshold between wakefulness and sleep, the transition between different activities during your day, moments of creative flow or heightened emotion, times of environmental change, all represent windows where you can make a change and utilize these commands. As your consciousness expands through this process, you develop an increasing sensitivity to the formation of new limiting beliefs before they establish coherent patterns in your field. The primary indicator of emerging limitations isn't intellectual but somatic. You'll notice subtle constriction in your chest or solar plexus, slight changes in breathing patterns, momentary heaviness or density in your field, or specific thought patterns characterized with words like can't, impossible, unrealistic. Maybe just a string of ridiculous thoughts that come to you. These sensations aren't random discomfort, but precise feedback mechanisms to reinforce your new beliefs against environmental frequencies that might trigger old patterns. Establish physical anchors that instantly reconnect with this expanded state. Touch your heart center while taking a deep breath. Create a specific gesture that embodies your sovereignty, or physically stand tall with arms extended to activate your expanded identity template that we've done today. These physical anchors create the immediate access to specific consciousness configurations through associated physical patterns. When practiced consistently, these anchors become instantaneous reset mechanisms that can reestablish your expanded state, even in environments resonating with limitation frequencies. Maintaining your expanded state in challenging environments requires understanding the quantum mechanics of resonance fields. When surrounded by others broadcasting limitation frequencies, you're not fighting individual beliefs, but navigating competing resonance patterns. The fundamental principle in quantum consciousness work is that higher frequencies naturally entrain lower ones, not the reverse. By consistently maintaining your expanded state through conscious attention and quantum commands, you create a dominant oscillation pattern that naturally entrains surrounding frequencies to its higher coherence. The evidence that your belief system has been permanently upgraded appears throughout your consciousness, consistent in how reality responds to your presence and intention. You'll notice increasing synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that align perfectly with your intentions. Resources appear precisely when needed. Opportunities previously invisible become readily available. Relationships naturally reorganize to support your expanded expression. Physical vitality and emotional resilience increase as your system operates with greater coherence. We've systematically dissolved the core limiting beliefs that have been constraining your reality across all dimensions of experience. I'm sure there are more, and you can use these commands to dissolve those as well. We've erased abundance limitations that were blocking prosperity flow, cleared worthiness restrictions that were preventing full receiving, expanded possibility boundaries that were constraining your future, and transformed identity constructs that were defining your fundamental relationship with reality. These aren't separate transformations, but interconnected aspects of a comprehensive consciousness upgrade that fundamentally alerts your vibrational relationship with the quantum field. Let's integrate these transformations with one final quantum command sequence that permanently anchors these shifts into your multidimensional system. Place one hand on your heart again, extend the other outward in a gesture of infinite reception. Take 3 deep breaths with me. Feeling yourself fully present in this moment, now say with me, declare, I now dissolve, erase, and deconstruct all remaining limitation patterns throughout my entire consciousness field as I redefine, expand, and embody the unlimited being I truly am. I command and activate the exact vibrational signature that manifests my highest vision with ease and precision. I align, magnetize, and illuminate the perfect expression of my authentic purpose as I transcend all previous boundaries of what's possible. Feel the comprehensive integration this creates through your entire multidimensional being, not just your thoughts or emotions, but your actual electromagnetic broadcast to the quantum field, permanently upgrading to reflect your unlimited nature beyond all previous constraints. I invite you to share your quantum transformation experiences, not just as testimonials, but actual amplification of the collective field. When you describe specific reality shifts or manifestations that occur following this activation, you create a strengthening particular possibility patterns in the collective consciousness. Share these experiences in the comments. Your experiences become reference points in the quantum field that expand what's possible for the entire reality revolution community. The limiting beliefs we've erased don't simply become dormant, but cease to exist as coherent patterns. The expanded states we've activated don't require constant maintenance, but become your new baseline operating system. You haven't just changed your thoughts about reality, but fundamentally transformed the electromagnetic signature through which you interface with the universe itself. Your consciousness, liberated from the artificial constraints of limiting beliefs, now broadcasts the vibration of unlimited potential. And the quantum field, responding with perfect fidelity, manifests experiences that match this liberated frequency. You are, in the most literal quantum sense, born anew in this moment. Just as the Bible says, "Behold, I make all things new." You are freed from the invisible architecture that was constraining your infinite potential and awakened to the extraordinary creator consciousness that is your authentic nature and birthright. Welcome to the reality revolution.